Hi, Jackie Van Ruller here, and in today's video I'm going to show you some points you can work on your face to hydrate and moisturize your skin. If you're not already signed up for my email list, make sure you sign up so that you get these face maps delivered right to your inbox. These are designed so that you can put them right beside somebody if you're working on them and see where to work on their face. If you're working on yourself, it's going to be a mirror image. But I do send these out weekly. I do a video and then send the face map out so that you can follow along. And then you can just use the face map to do it on your own without having to watch a longer video. So your skin's hydration and moisturization has to do with two elements. It's your metal element and your water element. Water element has to do with winter, metal has to do with fall and autumn. And notice that those are the times of the year that you may notice that you have more dry skin or are likely to have more dry skin. However, one thing I do want to emphasize is that the dryness of your skin is an internal condition and it's not about putting products on your face. In fact, putting products on your face, particularly harsh cleansers or kind of the soapy, the foamy cleansers, are going to actually dehydrate your skin because they pull some of the natural oils that you have out. And so I highly recommend cutting down on your products or stopping using products altogether. And every time I say that, I get very nasty emails or things like that. But really, like, your magic wand is a really cool tool for activating the hydration that you already have inside of yourself. And so I'm going to show you some areas to work. And then additionally, in addition to these points I'm going to show you, you also want to work areas that are dry on your skin. Any of these areas that are particularly dry or drier than other areas are areas that your body's trying to tell you that you have stress. So for instance, my skin used to be like sandpaper right in this area. And this area has to do with the lower gut. One side is the appendix, one side is kind of the end of the large intestine. I had a lot of issues with digestive stuff going on at the time. And so it was just a message from my body telling me where I was carrying some extra stress. So we're going to start with our kidney points. Kidney points you can find by putting your fingers on the corners of your mouth, going all the way up to your hairline and then down. And you'll feel an area that almost feels like a divot or that your fingers fit into. Kidneys are about water regulation. So they filter your blood and they decide what blood goes back into your body, as well as filtering things like hormones and vitamins and nutrients and all of those things. And then the rest it makes into urine. So it's also a detoxifying. So it's detoxifying cellular waste and medications and all kinds of stuff that you don't want in your blood. And so that sends that down to your urinary system. When your kidneys get stressed, it allows more things to get through, and it allows more things like protein to get through into your urine. And that means you have less protein in your extracellular fluid, and then that causes you to become edema, to get edema or to become more puffy. So we want our kidneys to be working really well so we don't get that puffiness. So what happens with puffiness is we may be carrying some extra water weight around in our body, but it's not the water weight that's actually going to hydrate our body. Kidneys also have to do with our connective tissue and our fascia, and the more hydrated our fascia is and the less stuck together it is, the more your skin is going to feel nice. If your skin is dry, it's probably because your fascia is stuck together and tight and it's not holding on to all the moisture that it could be. Next point we're going to work is right between the brows. And this area is a point for the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is the master gland of all of your endocrine functions, and your endocrine functions are like your hormonal messengers. So anytime your hormones are off, it's going to affect your skin, it's going to affect your hydration as well. Next point is going to be on the sides of the nose, coming down underneath of the eyes. And this was a point for the lungs. We're going to be working a lot of points for the lungs because the lungs take the moisture that you have in your body and they distributes it throughout your body. So if your lungs aren't pumping and working correctly, you might find that you have some areas where your skin gets very dry. You can be prone to rashes and things like that as well. Okay. Next area we're going to work is right in front of the nasal bone right here. And this opens up your nasal passageways and allows you to take in more oxygen and also opens up your sinuses. Then we're going to follow this underneath of the cheekbones all the way to the top of the ear meets the face, coming back and forth a couple of times, and this is encouraging airflow all the way to the bottom of the lungs, opening up all of your alveoli, or the little air sacs in your lungs, and then encouraging your lungs to pump the hydrating oxygen throughout your body. And as it's doing that, it's massaging your body and distributing water and hydration as well. Working at the top of the ear, this is a point for the shoulders. But 16 and 61 are paired points, which means that they work better together. So really good for just opening up the nasal passageways, encouraging good airflow. And I actually just felt my nasal passageway open up as I was doing that side. Been a little bit stuffy today, and so that really helped. Working underneath the cheekbones, encouraging good airflow all the way through the lungs. Now, if you're somebody who wants to try and use less products or less moisturizers and oils and things like that, I would recommend giving it a couple of days before you give up on it, because your skin's going to kind of freak out. Your skin gets kind of used to what you're doing, and then if you change it up, it's like, I don't know what's going on, so don't give it a day or two and then just be like, oh, my skin's super dry, I have to go back to products. Go ahead and give it a while, give it a week or two, and see what happens. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how well your skin can actually produce oil on its own, particularly when you're working on working with your magic wand. Okay, working on this side. I think I forgot to do this side. This is a great one for the sinuses and the lungs. And then we're going to come down and we're going to work this point on the pad of the nose, right in here. This isn't one I use very often, but this is an internal coolant point. It's like an air conditioner for your body. A lot of times when your skin is dry or dehydrated, it can be because you have a lot of internal heat, and this just cools down that internal heat. Okay, then we're going to move to the left side of the face and work a bunch of points over there. The reason we're working the left side of the face is because we want to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is going to be more hydrating, more oil producing, things like that. When we work the right side, it can tend to be more drying. Now, that doesn't mean you can't work the right side, because facial reflexology is about balance. You're not going to overdo it or overwork it or cause your skin to be drier by working the right side. But by working the left side, we are encouraging more oil production. So the first point I'm going to work is the spleen, which is located in the middle of the flare of the nose and directly under the iris of the eye. The spleen takes nutrients from the digestive system and it feeds it to the lungs so that the lungs have plenty of energy to distribute water and hydration. Then as I go just a little bit higher on the cheek, that's the point for the left lung. And then if I come down a little bit more and a little bit towards the nose, I get the point for the stomach. Stomach is about providing nutrients as well as fats and collagen, because it breaks down those things. So we need lots of fats and collagen to have good, healthy skin. Next area we're going to work is right here between the nose and the mouth. So this point in here is a large intestine point. The large intestine's job is to take excess water that can still be used, so recycling the water in your body, before you excrete the food that you've eaten. So its job is to hold on to as much usable water as possible. And this point is really good for lubricating your joints, lubricating your skin, and improving your immune system. Okay, working that on the other side. And then we want to work this point underneath of the mouth here and this point. So this is a diuretic point, so it's allowing you or promoting the release of excess water within your body, particularly water that is extracellular or interstitial, which means that it's outside of your cells, and it's kind of this extra water that causes some puffiness and edema and inflammation. So like I said before, you can have a lot of extra fluid in your body that's puffiness or that's not being used for hydration, and that'll actually cause you to be more dehydrated. So a lot of people ask me if I tell people to drink a lot of fluids after having facial reflexology or after their treatments, and I actually don't, because what happens with facial reflexology and with the pure energy facial meditation is that people get rid of all this extra fluid or this extra inflammation and then they get thirsty naturally. But if you have a lot of fluid that you're carrying around or a lot of inflammation, you can drink as much water as you want, but a lot of that will not stay in the good areas of your body, intracellularly, or where you need extra fluid. It'll just kind of make you puffier. So I don't necessarily tell people to drink tons of extra water. Ideally, when your kidneys and your bladder are working correctly, you will be thirsty when you need extra water. This point is a bladder point, so this is encouraging the bladder to let go of extra fluid. One of the primary symptoms of stress is having to use the bathroom frequently, particularly if you are having to use the bathroom at night. That is a sign of stressed out kidneys, and it can be a sign that your body is going to hang on to extra fluids as well. So working that bladder point is a really good one for reducing the number of times you go to the bathroom at night, as well as helping your kidneys and bladder to work better. Okay. Now, the one thing we also want to add to this formula that's not on the sheet is just feeling your skin and feeling where it feels dry. If you feel areas that feel patchy and dry, you want to work around in those areas. Like I'm feeling a little bit of dryness right in here. So I'm just going to take my detector, my magic wand, and work in this area. And this is going to bring hydration. It's going to break up fascia that's stuck together. This is something that you want to do on a regular basis. Feeling in here. And I feel a little bit of dryness right in here. So I'm just going to work in that area. And you'll find that if you do this a couple of times a day, that you're going to be able to use a lot less product, maybe even none. I haven't used any products on my face in quite a long time. In fact, I was at a retreat once and somebody had a really nice facial oil that everybody's been talking about and how wonderful it is and stuff like that. And she's like, well, you just try it, you know, because she knew that my stance on products was just to not use any. And so I tried it to put it on my face, and I would put it on at night before I went to bed. The next couple of days, my skin was so dry. And I think what had happened is I wasn't using anything. My skin had gotten really used to providing its own oil, its own hydration. And then I put this oil on, and then it's like, oh, well, now I don't have to make oil because you just put this oil on. And so it became dry for 2 or 3 days after that, even though I didn't use any more of the oil. And so your skin will really regulate itself. You don't have to use a lot of products. And in fact, probably the more products you use, the less your skin will regulate itself, and probably the more issues you'll have with your skin overall. As always, we're going to finish up by working around the ears. The ears represent the kidneys, and the kidneys have to do with your water retention, hydration, making sure your body has plenty of water to do the job it needs to do. So this also sets that formula in, helps it work longer, faster, and better, as well as balancing out your entire body. So just working all around the ears. And noticing how your skin feels now. I like to do this right after getting out of the shower, because a lot of times as I just wash my face with water, I'll feel areas that feel very dry or tense. And I can just get in there with my magic wand, work those areas out, and it feels hydrated and nice and plump again. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you do try and use less products. Let me know how that goes for you. And let me know how your skin feels after doing this. If you need to purchase a magic wand, I will put my website down below. And then make sure you sign up for my email list if you're not already signed up, so that you get these emails delivered right to your inbox. All right, I will see you soon.